Okay. So yeah, Mihai, our coordinator, wanted to say some welcome words, but it doesn't work that good. So welcome also from my side. Welcome everyone to the webinar about the open call for associated regions in the Restore for Life project. My name is Johanna Weidendorfer. I'm from the Floodplain Institute at the Catholic University Eichstätt-Ingolstadt in Germany, one of the partners of Restore for Life, and I'm together with my colleagues here responsible for the open call management within the project. Around 80 participants registered to this webinar, and we are quite happy that the webinar has raised such a huge interest. At the moment, we're just 38, but I think the number will raise a bit more. But thanks also for joining us, and I hope we can give you a good insight into the topics now. So let me introduce our today's speakers to you. Our first speaker will be Gabriele Weigelhofer from the University of Natural Resources and Life Sciences in Vienna. She's also the co-lead of the entire project. And from the Open Call Management team, I may introduce my colleague Barbara Stammel, also from the Floodplain Institute at the KU Eichstätt, and Dušanka Jovanović from the University of Novi Sad in Serbia. In the next hour, we will present Restore for Life project in a short, and then give you insights in our implementation sites. After the words, you will get to know about the concept of associated regions and the most important rules of our open call. In the end, we will have around half an hour for a Q&A session, and we'll open the floor for some questions you might have. As we have so many attendees, we kindly ask you to put all your questions in the provided Etherpad behind the link here on the slide. You find the link in the chat as well. We may repeat it sometimes, but please use this link. Our aim was with a solution that we have all questions together in one document, and that all of you have access to it, even if the webinar is finished. So when the webinar is closed, you can just enter this link, and then you can type another question. Within the Q&A session, we try to clarify some important questions as the time permits. But afterwards, we will add answers to all of the questions in that file and also try to zoom them up to generate an FAQ to put on our website. So feel free to add your questions in the file, and Gabriela will now start to give you insights in our project.
Thank you, Johanna, for the introduction. On behalf of the project lead and our entire consortium, I also welcome you to this webinar. I will give you a short overview over the Restore for Life project. Johanna? Yeah. So what is the background? Well, wetlands and river floodplains are among the most threatened ecosystems of the world. More than 70% of wetlands and floodplains are either entirely lost or at least so degraded that they don't fulfill all their functions, and the remaining ones are under high pressure from human activities. There exists quite some knowledge, quite a lot of knowledge and expertise and tools for wetland restoration. However, this is not distributed over or across Europe. So there are large disparities regarding this knowledge, and we lack the transferability to transfer this knowledge, expertise, and tools from one region to the other. So there's an urgent need for long-term decision support platform where experts, scientists, stakeholders can meet, can exchange information, knowledge, etc., so that implementation across Europe is facilitated. Okay. Our project is within one of the EU, it belongs to one of the EU missions. This is the EU mission Restore Our Oceans and Waters. And the main focus is here research and innovation, citizen engagement, and blue investments. You see that this is in 4 basins. One is the Baltic North Sea Basin, the Mediterranean Sea Basin, the Atlantic and Arctic coast, and one of them is the Danube River Basin, where our project is located. Well, it is about protection and restoration of freshwater ecosystems and biodiversity. And these mission lighthouses are sites where tools and methods are developed, tested, and then this transferability from one region to the other region is guaranteed. Yeah, next one, please. So let's go into our project. In the dark green, you see which countries are involved in our project. It is a Horizon Europe project. We started on the 1st of June this year, and it is the duration is 4 years, so it will go until May 2027. In total, we have 31 organizations. You see that the majority come from academic and research institutions, but we also have local national authorities, NGOs, and SMEs. And the budget is 8.5 billion. Yeah, next one, please. Here you have a short overview over all our 31 partners, and we can go right to the next one. So what are the specific project goals? Well, the overall goal is to develop a Restore for Life wetland restoration decision support system. This is a long-lasting service that should connect experts, scientists, stakeholders, should offer solutions for holistic wetland restoration, should be a kind of platform where you can find methods, tools, etc. And this links then to the last goal here. This should in total stimulate holistic wetland restoration across Europe. Other goals are also to empower the community by engaging citizen scientists in the project and the support of business activities, local revenues in restored ecosystems. So the project, and this is also in the name, Restore for Life, the project is not only to restore wetlands for nature, but also for the benefit of human beings. Next one, please. Yeah, here you see our work packages. In total, we have 7 work packages. Now, work package 1 is the main work package where all the other work packages lead to. So this is this development of a long-term restoration service, a kind of marketplace, exchange place or exchange platform for methods, solutions for holistic wetland restoration in Europe. And we have 3 other work packages that feed into this long-term restoration service. Work package 2 is focused on stakeholder and citizen science engagement in wetland restoration. So we want to empower people, the community, local communities in this wetland restoration, involve them in decision processes, involve them in wetland restoration monitoring, and also a huge part of this work package is dedicated to environmental education. In work package 3, we have, in fact, 4 implementation sites. You will hear later about those, but there will be sites where wetland restoration activities are implemented and where the different tools, methods for citizen science, for business, etc., for monitoring will be tested, developed, optimized. And work package 4 is then dedicated to business options, what local business options are possible within restored wetlands, so that restoration of wetlands is also for the local communities. And what we learned from work package 2, 3, and 4 will then go into work package 5, where we have the webinar now. This is all the methods, the tools will be also tested by developing roadmaps and restoration actions, action plans for associated regions. Finally, we have a communication work package 6 on the left and a project management on the right. So for the schedule, you see that Restore for Life will last from this year to 2027. We will develop these stakeholder tools, methods for wetland restoration, or test them and test them for the transferability from one region to the other. We are now currently also engaged in developing or testing indicators for the suitability for citizen science engagement, and we are working on economic business models. And all these tools will go into these service into the Restore for Life wetland restoration service, and will also feed into these restoration action plans and roadmaps for associated regions. So this should be a long-lasting service, which means that even beyond the duration of this project, this online toolbox should be available for all the others, and new projects should be started with the main impact that that wetlands and river and floodplains are restored by 2030. And I think that's it. Thank you for listening, and I will hand over to my colleague Duška.
Thank you. Let me share my presentation. Joanna, can you please allow sharing? Okay, thank you. Okay, so can you see presentation? I can continue, thank you. I will present you 4 implementation sites within Restore for Life project, explain their different ecological characteristics which influence different restoration approach, measures, activities, and of course, different restoration challenges. So these 4 restoration implementation sites are colored yellow in this map, and they are distributed in different parts of the Danube Basin, upper, middle, and lower. 2 of them, located in Austria and Slovakia, are typical riverian river wetlands, floodplain wetlands, while the 3rd one is located in highlands of Serbia, which is peat bog transitional mire wetland. So it's a little bit different from previous 2. And the last one is located in the Danube Delta. It's Anisala wetland. However, there are some common points at these 4 implementation sites. It's because there's all of them are subjected to the climate change and drought effects with a specific anthropogenic pressures, which are site specifics. Okay, so let's see the first one. Implementation site is located along the March River in Austria. This is actually floodplain wetland area between Austria and Slovakia. However, restoration activities will be located on the right riverside in Austria. This area, due to channel incision and also some hard bank engineering works along the banks, is subjected to the drought effect, and it's also decoupled from the river dynamics, except in the case of extreme floods. So this influence that Palmer Oxbow Lake is completely dry or mostly dry during the year, threatening the existence of some highly protected species and also small fish-free backwaters for amphibians are almost completely absent. There is one very important point, that these restoration works in this area are just the beginning of one large-scale restoration plan for entire area in both of the countries. So, excuse me. So let's see how the restoration works will start. So, restoration aims at increasing the lateral connectivity between the river channel and the floodplain by lowering and opening the bank structure to reconnect this side arm with the Palmer Lake and river channel, in order to restore natural hydrodynamics of this area. I choose this photo made in winter period in order to be able to visualize this side channel. And it's expected that this restoration action have an effect on 200 hectares of floodplain area. Of course, due to hard bank engineering, which exists here in the form of the riprap, these first have to be removed in order to restore and facilitate a natural morphodynamic processes on the bank. And of course, some trees, floodplain trees have to be removed, but however, they will be used in order to increase bank and littoral habitat features in the form of wood debris and groins. Here is an example of some previous projects, how this will look like, and how these littoral habitat features, which are important nesting, shelter, and places for example, fish species. However, there is a challenge everywhere, like here. First of all, none of these actions can't be sustainable and effective if both of countries and stakeholders from whole area are not included. And also, like in every site, some protected species and their habitats could be degraded further if we are not careful during these restoration works. And these pioneering habitats, newly formed bank, could be colonized, for example, with invasive species before native one. And of course, already decreased water level is treated for any kind of restoration works. The second one is located in Slovakia. It's the river Rudava wetlands. It's 45-kilometer long river, which is half highly modified channelized water course, while the other half, it's a natural river, Ramsar site, Natura 2000 protected area. So this river was intensively regulated. This artificial watercourse was created with a resectioning and reinforcement of bank with different kinds of hard bank engineering. So compared to this natural section of Rudava, it's very obvious how these works were degraded this river section. So all of this resulted in complete loss of hydrodynamic processes and disconnection of surrounding area from the flooding events and natural hydrological regime. So the aim of the restoration is to restore the discharge in the natural riverbed, okay, so which will start here, and to restore it by redirecting of water flow from this artificial water channel. So here on the photo, it's all by green. It's marked the natural riverbed, and the artificial one is colored red. So this will include also a building inflow object in order to redirect this flow. And it is expected that about 6 kilometers of river will be restored in that way. However, there are some challenges, like everywhere. Here is the problem that this area has a very restricted access, and some special licenses are needed to perform restoration works, and also artificial channel can't stay without discharge. So some balance have to be created and optimization in the following months. Third, implementation site, as I already said, it's located in highlands of Serbia, having completely different climate and landscape conditions. This is also recognized at the national level as a landscape of outstanding features, important bird area, important plant area, Emerald, Ramsar site, and it's proposed for Natura 2000 site. I have to say that Serbia is not obliged to implement and apply Habitat Directive, EU Habitat Directive, So restoration actions are proposed also based on the Berne Convention, not just on Habitat Directive. So the Vlasina Lake is the highest and the largest semi-artificial reservoir lake in the southeast of Serbia. It was created in the half of the last century when rivers feeding the outflow of the peat bog, Vlasinsko Blato, were closed by dam, and the peat bog was submerged. Before that, Vlasinsko Blato peat bog was the largest in Serbia and in this part of the Balkans. After inundation of the main part of the bog, some marginal parts of the peat still exist near the shoreline and floating as a floating peat islands. Unfortunately, these floating peat islands are attached to the shore at the moment due to a due to climate change and drought effects and lake fluctuations, water level fluctuations, because this lake serves as a hydropower reservoir. Okay, so other threat to these peat islands and vegetation and specific habitats are also invasive species in aquatic environments, such as Elodea nutali, which, as you can see, creates a specific belt around these attached peat islands. So the aim of the restoration, so the plant restoration activities generally aims to restore transitional mire habitats located in riparian zone of Vlasina, which are slightly different classified than it should be in a habitat directive. I'm not sure that it could be recognized as a specific habitat in this habitat directive list. Okay, so all restoration activities will be performed at 4 restoration polygons sites according and guided by reference conditions at reference polygon. So the restoration measures will consider a lot of different passive and active measures that I will better explain using some maps and photos. So in the first restoration polygons, using these 2 culverts which are passing this motorway will be used. First of all, they will be cleaned, restored, and these intermittent streams, which are specifically active during the spring, will be used to redirect water in this area to target areas which are subjected to drought. Also, and using this 3D model developed by LiDAR technology, we could reconstruct water flows and to create newly formed and restored meanders in this area to prolong time for resistance time of the water in this area. So we will also do that according to satellite analysis of this area to recognize these parts which really need to change their hydrological regime. So in the second polygon, a restoration site, we will do an opposite thing. This culvert, which is located and passing this motorway, will be used to rise water level in this area. And this will target specific ephemeral frog ponds, which will be restored here. And also in both of polygons, we will perform planting of typical transitional mire species, which creates a significant part of peat and proportion of peat in this area. However, this channelized watercourse creates very high erosion in the springtime of this part of the shore, which can affect our restoration works. So we will use 3 species which will be taken from this restoration polygon. they will be taken in order to stop further successional processes here. And some of them, which are typical for floodplain forests, will be removed to stabilize as a soft bank engineering this part of the shoreline. So, however, there are challenges here as well. We have to negotiate with electric power industry to show them that they will have a benefit from this restoration works, and not just them, but the entire area. And the fourth implementation site is located in the Danube Delta. It's Natura 2000 site, and it's also part of Danube Delta Biosphere Reserve. It's located between two lakes, between Barbadag and Razim Lake. So let me give you some other perspective. So during the last decade, all these wetland area here, including Razim Lake, the complex was isolated from the influence of the Black Sea and transformed into the freshwater reservoir for supplying the irrigation system in neighboring agricultural areas. So there is a water flow from Barbadag to Razim Lake through this, main channel, Anisala channel. And all this restoration area serves as a buffer zone between these two lakes to trap nutrients and trap sediment particles. During the summer season, the water discharge from Barbadag Lake to the Razim stops, and all this north part is subjected to eutrophication and frequent algal blooming, which can treat biodiversity in whole area. And it's likely that if these kind of processes continue, that the south part of the restoration site will be affected as well, which is suitable habitat for some very commercially significant species and species of high conservation interest. So aim of restoration is to mitigate eutrophication, improve water quality. Why this is happening? Because I'm not doing this. Okay. So the aim of restoration is to mitigate eutrophication, improve water quality in this north part of restoration area. Colleagues has proposed few options for this, and the best one will be chosen in the following period by after optimization and according to 3D model created by LiDAR technology of this area, because these slight differences in elevation of this area can give a lot of information where these channels have to be created together with these sediment traps. So there is also other option. The second one, to reactivate an old channel and the old lakes for trapping nutrients, or maybe we can combine two different approaches into one. Since this area is habitat of very rare species of high conservation interest, the challenge, the main challenge in this area is that they could be further degraded together with their habitats during these construction works. So some measures to mitigate this are already proposed. Thank you for your attention. I will stop sharing.
Okay, thank you, Duška. Maybe Johanna, you can share the screen again. Okay, so I'm the third person. I'm Barbara Stammel, also from the same affiliation as Johanna. And I have the honor now to introduce you to the concept of the associated regions. You heard a lot already now about the Restore for Life project, the different work packages which try to get new information, new tools. And on the other hand, you heard a lot about these implementation sites. By the way, you will find more information on these soon on the webpage. We're not able to finalize it yet, but it will appear soon. And now what is the idea about these associated regions? I think it's a new tool of the EU. It comes from the EU, and I think it is a very good idea to not always wait until the end of a project to provide information to get the new insights, but to integrate already new partners which are not part from the early beginning of Restore for Life, but we would like to introduce, and that's why you are here today. We would like to have you probably in our project. So the idea is really to upscale the information and the insights we gain during our implementation of restorations in the Restore for Life project and bring it to new areas. So you can see it here by the arrows. We have our implementation side. We have also a monitoring sites, and the insight we gain here, we would like to transfer to the associated regions. And therefore, we have the money to support at least 5 associated regions. And I think there are many interests, and therefore we will have these open calls, and we can grant up to 100,000 euros per region. Why we would like to grant this money, please, Johanna? We would like to share our results and knowledge, and on the other hand, get feedback from you if our new developed tools are really working. We would like to provide you scientific and technical support for your implementation in your sites. And for this, we would first start with preparing roadmaps together with you to develop plans and how a project in your sites can work. But your projects should not just be any wetland restoration, but they should somehow be connected to the 4 implementation sites you heard about before. So there could be a similarity, for instance, in the ecosystem, in the restoration activities you are planning, in also the sociological situation in your site. Maybe you have also a river on a border between 2 countries. It could also be that we develop some business options which might be interesting also in your side. So similarity can be quite wide, but there must be a similarity between your side and at least one twinning. We called it twinning region. As we think it is better not to always bring together all associated regions and 4 implementation sites, but it's better to have a pair or a triangle of good related projects. Yeah, so for sure, we expect also some things from your side. We really do not want only a restoration, but we really would like to have the interaction with your local stakeholders. We would like to visit you and work on one workshop in your region together with you and your stakeholders in planning and apply our tools and develop together with you and the stakeholders roadmaps for your area. We start developing this, and then you need to develop those roadmaps with the help of our knowledge expertise. Not only those persons which are here now, but of the entire team, which is fitting best to you. And on the other hand, for sure, we would like to have you in our project, in our Restore for Life project, and therefore there is a need that you get in contact with us, and we would like to have you at least once participating a Restore for Life event and a workshop with the stakeholders. Okay, that's from my side. And now I think we get really into the details, and Johanna will tell you the rules for the open calls. So far they are fixed yet. These are all preliminary rules. Johanna.
Thank you, Barbara, for introducing it. So yeah, we start now. Yeah, the most important question you might ask is who is actually eligible for the open call. So one rule is that the regions need to have a more or less similar ecosystem and abiotic, biotic, and or socioeconomic conditions to at least one implementation site, like Barbara already told you. The region does not have to fulfill all of these conditions, but needs to show similarities in some of its points. And then you can applicate as a team of up to 3 partners from 1 or more eligible countries, as well as a single entity. But eligible entities might only be local and or regional authorities. So please be aware that NGOs or higher education organizations are not eligible. I know that most of our attendees today are not working in an authority, but if you want to participate in the open call, you may reach out and find an authority to make the application and the process. Another important rule is also that the country needs to be an EU member state or associated to Horizon Europe. All countries of our partners in the Restore for Life consortium are excluded from this rule. So our communication team created a map where you can see which countries will be eligible regarding those mentioned rules. Within the Danube River Basin, there are still just remaining Moldavia, Albania, Kosovo, and North Macedonia. But all other regions in Europe, you can see in the dark green colors, are welcome to join us as well, as soon as they have similar wetlands like one of our implementation sites. And if you may ask this, the European Commission isn't sure how to proceed with Ukraine and Israel at the moment regarding a potential security risk. But as long as we don't hear anything contrary, they are still eligible. So we just need to wait. Okay, and here you find a list with eligible restoration activities. They go hand in hand with the activities we will carry out at our implementation site, like Dushanka already mentioned before. So there's everything included, like removal of channel bank regulations or restoration of riverbed and meanders, also the removal of invasive species, but also nature-based solutions, river dynamics improvement, and so on. So it's just a nice overview. So you don't have to fulfill all of those criteria. It's just a range of possible measures you can take out. The maximum budget, like Barbara also mentioned, each region can receive about 100,000 euros. The exact amount depends on the estimation you give within the application, and only actual costs can be reimbursed. And the range of eligible costs includes personal cost, purchase costs for traveling, like 2-hour workshops or the holding of a workshop in your region, and also equipment and other services, as well as indirect costs up to 25%. But it's all just preliminary, so it may change in a few points. Our timeline. So the open call will hopefully launch in the beginning of February next year and then last 4 months until the end of May. So still enough time to clarify all questions before the application phase. I would also say there are not yet any documents on the website, so we're still in process that everything will be finished until we upload it. But just for you to know, okay, there is enough time, so it will start in February and end in May. Then in June, we will evaluate and select all the applications and start with the contracting phase. And then the project implementation in your side and also the generating of roadmaps and whatever will be then lasting 2.5 years until February 2027, when we also are close to finish our project itself. Our criteria will include the 3 main topics: excellence, impact, and implementation. So at excellence, it will be rated how much the project does relate to our objectives and how or if it fits to one of our sites. In the second topic, we will rate the impact for Restore for Life, as well as the benefit for the EU mission Restore Our Ocean and Waters. And for implementation, it is important that the planned activities seem to be feasible, and further, it will be positively taken into account if there is already some knowledge, resources, or an existing network within the region. So of course, here again, you don't need to have all of these points, but it needs to be argued good that you fit to us and would be a good associated region to us. The selection process. So for the evaluation, we will set up an evaluation board consisting of the steering committee from Restore for Life and an advisory board with external experts from European, Danube Basin-wide or national organizations. We don't have the experts yet, but there will be some. For each criterion, will be given a score between 1 and 5. And therefore, all proposals will be ranked in the end, and the 5 best proposals, or 6, it depends on the amount of budget you estimated, will be chosen to make the contracts with, and they will participate as associated regions in the end. And of course, all applicants will be notified, no matter if they are accepted or not. So as all information I told you belonging the open call are still preliminary, so all of the points, I want to invite you to our second workshops where we want to give you some support in the application procedure. So we will go there through all steps in the application form and will clarify all criteria and rules in a more detailed version. The workshop will prospectively be held in March, so we don't know the date yet. But it will be published at the website, so stay tuned. And another option would be to sign up to our newsletter, where we also will inform you about updates concerning the whole project, but as well to the open call and the launch and the application process, whatever. So everything you will get also in the newsletter. So you can take this QR code or you go directly onto our website and there you find the form where you can register to our newsletter. And now we already are finished in the end. So I would say we can jump into the Q&A. So if you have any questions and have not used our form yet, so type this link into the website or to use the link is already in the chat, and there you can type all your questions, and we will see if we can answer already something. I will try to I will try to share the screen with the questions. I think that would be maybe easy.
I'm not sure if there is someone who wants to speak directly. Do we have the option for the people to?
They should be allowed.
Unmute.
I hope so. But we have enough time, so you also can speak if you want.
I see Rui Bodello already. So please unmute yourself and if it's possible. Mhm. Or do we have to unmute him? Ah, okay.
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
So now, Rui, I think you got the chance. Unmute his. Yeah.
Hello, are you hearing me?
Yes, perfect.
Okay, first presentation. I'm Rui Botelho from Portuguese Society for Study of Birds. We are working here in Azores, so Bio-Micronesian region, and is Atlantic also. So my big issue is, are we in your interest area? And because we are really working for the last 20 years in mire and peat bog restoration and in wetlands along riversides restoration, so we really are in the middle of the team that is all aboard. And we were applying these projects with the LIFE program, so it's large scale projects, so it might be interesting. Some of them, for example, the restoration of peat bogs have more than 10 years, so we can have also some results from what we have done at the time. So my big question is Micronesian islands, Micronesian issue a hot topic for you, or something that is not included directly on your priorities? That's all.
Johanna, do you know?
Yeah, so I just need to find the map again. Yeah. So as I know, the Azores are defined as the outermost regions from Portugal. Is right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So like our definition, so the information we got from the European Commission, outermost regions should be included and also be eligible. So
Good.
hopefully short answer. So
Yes, exactly.
yeah, it could be changed, but that's the information we got at the moment. So I would say yes.
Okay, fantastic.
Mhm.
We'll apply.
Great.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Okay,
So-
maybe I can just also answer the first question here at the board. Can we get the presentation? Yes, we will get it. We will, yeah, put it on the website where you can download it in the end. We will see how to proceed with the recording of maybe you will get this as well, but we will see. So, but minimum the presentation you will get at the website.
Yeah, so let's go to the second question. And I think if I saw it correctly, it pops up at another point as well. So the point about that the authorities are the only one which are eligible is coming from the European Commission. And we asked that question as well to the European Commission and do not have the answers yet. How other institutions could be included. There was a question that subcontracting is possible, but it is not clear to which dimension. Johanna, if I'm saying something wrong, please correct me. But yeah, the problem is really that only authorities can apply, but we know about this problem, and we asked therefore how it is possible to have subcontracting to whatever. So our idea is that NGOs or institutions need to find authority to cooperate with and find a way. But we are on this topic and will hopefully find a good solution for you.
Here is someone raising the hand. Not anymore. Here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're allowed to speak. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. No, no. I'm sorry. This is quite new here.
I think, Pavel, you can unmute
You are
yourself.
allowed.
Yeah.
Now it works.
Yeah. Do you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Pavel Cudlin from the Institute of Global Change Research of the Czech Academy of Sciences. And my main question is if also the restoration sites of another watershed than Danube could be included, because most of Czech Republic is belonging to the Elbe watershed, not Donau. Donau, of course, is also included in south. In most of part of Moravia, of course, is the watershed of the Donau. It's my first question. If you can answer.
Yeah, if I understood it right, so your question was if there's also it's okay that your site is within another river basin, except the Danube River Basin, but for example the Elbe River Basin. So yes, this is okay, because it's not excluded to be in the Danube River Basin, because most of our consortium countries are excluded there. So of course we spread it out to, so the concept of associated regions is to spread it out through Europe to bring our expertise into other regions. So of course also other regions within a completely different river basin. So yeah, your site or region structures should be in some points be similar to one of our implementation sites, but it does not have to be that similar like being in the Danube. So Elbe is also quite fine.
Yeah, thank you. Of course, that Donau watershed would be better from the point of view of comparison of our selected sites with some implemented sites of your projects. Of course, it would be better maybe some river on the border with Austria and something. So, but we will see. And next, my question is if also during the evaluation of the project proposal will be evaluated from your side the.
So who will evaluate?
The importance or the size of proposed restoration measures, if it's important, not only quality but also quantity, big areas, restoration, so on, or if it's possible also to propose, as example, some restoration measures in smaller size. It's also what's your opinion?
Yeah, that's also okay. Yeah, so it just needs to be in the kind of restoration activities that this should be in more or less similar or one out of the range we gave from our implementation side, but it doesn't have to be that big restoration. So it's also, we give you the tools to plan those restorations in the beginning. So of course, smaller ones would be eligible, of course. And to your first question, again, our other implementation sites also are especially at the Danube itself, but on smaller rivers within this basin. And our third implementation site, for example, is at a big lake, so in a fluvial peat wetland. So also not this special like big river restoration at the Danube. So it's also more specific in other topics and areas. So yeah, it's not that fixed, so.
Thank you very much. It's good information. And my last question, in your list of eligible modes, how to participate in your projects, was also a point monitoring of already realized restoration measures. It's very interesting for us because it's one of our interesting topics to restore in Czech Republic effectiveness of restoration measures, mostly wetlands, or yes, and in the scale of Czech Republic. And we have a method for this, which allows to evaluate it also from the monetary point of view, from biodiversity approach and monetary point of view. My third question: if this approach and these results would be interesting for your project.
Yeah, maybe I step in here, or Gabi, would you like to answer as well? So monitoring is a very important point for Restore for Life for the project, and I think we are happy to exchange here on this topic. And if you have already experience here, we would like for sure test, validate our tools, but I think validation is always good, comparing also with existing ones. And I would say, please include this in your application already. Point out that you have experience here, and maybe about the type of data, what kind, yeah. And the idea of Restore for Life is more not to count single species, but to have it a more efficient way of monitoring. And for this, we really need ground data, ground truthing to validate it. So it's very welcome.
Thank you. It's all from my side.
Okay, so I see Natalia Fedorova also raised her hand, and I gave her already the mission, the permission.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Natalia Fedorova. I'm from Ukraine, from the NGO, Danube Carpathian Program. And I would like to ask about participants of Ukraine. Is it any restriction or a problem, or we can apply?
Yeah, so we can't say anything about the security risk and how the European Commission will handle this. But apart from that, it's still eligible, so you can participate in the call. And the only restrictions I listed within the EU sanction map. So that there are some entities who will not receive money from the EU anymore, but it's just a small amount of entities in the Ukraine. So I would say you check this EU sanction map. I can also give you a link later on in some documents you will provide it for the open call. There's also the link to this EU sanction map, and there you can see if your entity is listed, but hopefully not. And then I would say you can participate in the call. But yeah, we would need to wait a bit if the European Commission says something contrary, but from our position now, we would say yes.
Thank you. And I have one more question. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
About I'm from NGO, and as you told, we cannot apply. We can apply only with local governments. And can it be small local governments? Government, for example, can it be a village community, or it should be city more large
No,
community?
it can also be a small local one. Yeah. So the
Thank
size
you.
isn't relevant. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I would suggest let's quickly go through the list. Maybe it's easy to answer here, and then hands are raising again.
So maybe what's about the third question? Where especially is the question about? So it's belonging the support rate or co-financing needed?
So please, all these information we have to check still with the EU, but as far as we know, there is no co-financing needed. It is a EU Horizon project where we have 100% funding, and also the associated regions are for 100%. Yes. About question 4 is about the same again. You need authority which is supporting you, and we will check it again and write it in this section here clearly about this sub-granting post option for the other partners. About the indirect costs, can you, Johanna, tell us something about this? Or do we have to postpone it?
Not yet, unfortunately. So I haven't seen that many information about it yet. So I just found some information, but we still need to clarify this with our PO.
Yeah, we will take this question and come back to you. So the 6th question, it was mentioned that the roadmap will need to be created until 2026. Until that time, implementation of actions will take place if grant approved. No, the roadmap means that you get a plan, what you would like to do, how to get to your aim, to your restoration objective. That is the roadmap. And in this roadmap, all the tools and ideas we can share with you will be implemented. And if you have the chance to if you are really quickly and get all the permissions needed to implement something, then it's still possible also during your lifetime that you implement your project, but it's not an absolute clear need that during Restore for Life your project is already implemented. We know about this, that is really ambitious to implement restoration activities in wetlands in 2 years. But we would like to prepare everything and help you. And if you are fast, then that's fine. Please tell us more about the possibility, or anything to add from? No.
Barbara, I always write your answers so that they are available in the doc. Just check whether everything is okay. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So please tell us more about the possibility of participation for Ukraine. We have it already.
I
And
would say we answered it already.
yeah. And yeah, and the 8th question as well. And Morocco is eligible for this call. I don't think.
Unfortunately not.
Yeah, sorry for this.
Because it still has not contracted. So it's not associated to Horizon Europe yet. So there is a plan to be associated in a few years, maybe, but not yet. And for example, the UK is already associated to Horizon Europe, but is just eligible for projects will start 2024 and ongoing. So I see no way that the Morocco will be eligible for our open call as well. So unfortunately not.
Okay. Then we have another hand raised. Gidi Kotoradze. Oh, that sounds very East. Maybe please unmute yourself and ask your question. Good. Maybe Natalia, you could unraise your hand.
Yes. Can I speak?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
Fine.
As my previous colleagues, all of them are asking about eligibility. I want to also ask you about what about Georgia? Can our organization participate? Because Georgia is an associated country to Horizon Europe. And as I understand, your project, Restore for Life, is an ongoing project, and you would like to enrich this project and invite additional organizations. Yes, it's correct. Yes. What about our participation? I want to ask you.
Yeah, Georgia is also eligible.
Okay.
That's true. To ask
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But organization should be should have the same profile, working on this area, lands, environmental protection, and so on. Yes, it is.
Yes,
correct.
yes. So your restoration or your plant restoration should be in wetlands, and their authorities need to apply. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay. It seems that most questions are asked.
So Natalia, do you still want to ask question again?
No,
Or not anymore?
It is already unraised. Yeah.
Unraised. Okay. So if you have questions to the eligible countries on our website, you can also find the map we showed you in this presentation. So yeah, we can also type the website.
I think we can also this chat here. That's the reason why we use this chat. Will still be open. So if you have new questions, getting during lunchtime, you see, oh, I forgot to ask this. You can still type these questions in here, and we will try to answer it. It will be online. And we will type in the question, our answers here. And this is, the feedback to this seminar. And we will clarify all open things during, in the next month. And then I think you can find after, when we will launch then the call, you can find all information in a guideline about the open call, where it is hopefully clearly described. But if there are any questions, you're welcome to please let us know, send an email via the info@Restore4Life email or directly to Johanna and me.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, there will be this mentioned second workshop where
Yes,
we
exactly.
will clarify all questions regarding the application form or whatever.
And I think, Johanna, we have now your email addresses, and we will directly email you again when the next seminar is on. This is possible, is it true?
This is true, yeah.
Yeah. So you will get the information from us. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So you're happy, hopefully, and you can consider about Christmas which restoration activity in your country would be possible and fit best to the implementation sites we presented. If you are interested to work with us in restoration, in monitoring, in working with stakeholders or finding business options, and we are happy if we get your feedback or see you again during the seminar, and we would be even more happy if we receive then your applications. And with these words, probably, I'm not sure. Mihai, are you still with us? Would you like to finalize the meeting or? Okay. Or Gabi as deputy.
Yes, as deputy, I thank you for joining this webinar. Thank you for all the interesting questions, and we're looking forward to your applications.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much for listening.
Bye.